Hi, I'm Kirsten Adler of Explore Movement, and this is a routine to help you improve your posture or unravel from your computer slump. So come onto hands and knees, bring your shoulders over your wrists and your knees under your hips. And we'll start with some cat-cow. So round your back up to the ceiling, and then move your back the other way, rolling your tail and your head up. And again, rounding your back, and then arching. Move back and forth a couple more times. This is a great way to get your back moving, especially if you've been sitting at a desk all day. And then make your way to an in-between place, also known as a flat back or a neutral spine. And make sure that in this place that your head isn't dropping towards the ground, right? I like to joke with my clients to give themselves a little bit of what feels like a double chin to keep the head more in line with the spine. From here, sink your chest towards the floor without bending your elbows. And then push your hands down into the floor to lift your chest up away from the floor without rounding your back though. That's the tricky part. Again, sink your chest through your arms to the floor. Push into your hands to lift your chest away from the floor. Again, chest goes towards the floor, chest moves away. And this whole time you're keeping your back really long. It's like your head is reaching to the wall in front of you and your tail is reaching to the wall behind you. Couple more times. And then take a rest off your arms into a child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front of you until you feel a nice stretch through the side seams of your body. And then you can take a side bend to one side. And a side bend to the other side. From here, you'll come back into your neutral spine, your flat back, and try to stretch one leg back behind you. Now the leg can stay on the floor or it can lift away from the floor, and then reach the opposite arm out in front of you. So can you still keep that strong push into the standing hand? Can you still keep your head up away from the floor rather than drooping it down? And then release that knee and hand down and switch sides. Moving back and forth, taking a breath once you're in that position, and then switching. And imagine you have two hot coffee cups, one on your low back, one on your upper back, and you're trying not to spill them here. And one more time each side. This is a great endurance exercise for your postural muscles. Okay, so you're going to come onto your side now. This is where it's nice to have a pillow. You don't have to have one, but it can feel kind of good for the neck. And you'll bend your knees. You want your hips and shoulders stacked. You'll have your arms reaching out in front of you about shoulder chest height. And just take a moment to, again, make sure that you're not sort of curling into a ball here, but your back feels really long. Take your top hand, reach it up to the ceiling, and then to the floor behind you. And you're following that hand with your eyes so that your neck turns, and then you're gonna come back to starting position. Now, the majority of the rotation here is coming into the upper spine, the thoracic spine. So my hips and knees aren't really moving around too much, but you can let it slide a little bit. Whatever pace you want to go at here, you can move slower, you can move quicker, whatever feels good to your body. I recommend starting sort of at a slower pace so you can really pay attention to your body, pay attention to what you're feeling and noticing. And then switch sides. So I'm just going to come up, move to the other side so I'm not facing away from you. Again, set yourself up in that position where your hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked, back is long, and you'll take the top arm up. Hopefully you have enough room wherever you are to reach that arm without hitting something, and then come back to center. So many of my clients, when they're thinking of their sort of poor posture, they're thinking of their shoulders, right, being sort of rounded forward, which is part of the puzzle. But then another part of the puzzle is what's happening in the rest of your spine and how that can affect the alignment that's happening through your chest and through your head. So finding as many different movements as you can through your spine and through your ribs and through your pelvis, I find can be very helpful in sort of freeing up your posture so that you don't feel like your default is always that sort of hunchback. So from here, you're going to come back onto hands and knees and just go through cat-cow a couple of times. Notice if anything's changed. If it feels a little bit easier, if you feel like you have more range of motion. And then you're going to make your way onto your belly. And take your hands here and stack them like a little pillow. And you'll rest your forehead on that pillow. You're going to actively stretch your legs behind you. So rather than my legs just kind of hanging out here, they're reaching actively to the wall behind me. And I'm sinking the fronts of my hips into the floor. Now from here, I'm going to lift my forehead off of my hands, just like an inch or so. So I'm, rather than looking forward with my eyes and lifting my chin, I'm going to stay looking down. Then I'm going to pull my hands back towards my hips without them moving on the floor. So it's like I'm doing this, but I'm not going to let them move. And I'm going to take my chest forward and up. Stay looking down, right? So I'm just getting a little bit of a back bend in my upper spine. Then, once I've gone as far as I can this way, try lifting your chin and eyes up, lift your chest up a little bit more, and then relax back down. So again, I'm going to lift my forehead off my hands. I still have a little bit of that double chin feeling. Pull forward with my chest, dragging my hands back towards my hips. Lift your chin, lift your chest a little more, and then lower down. Bring your hands now to a goalpost position, same thing. Lift your head, pull your elbows back to send your chest forward and up. Lift your chin, lift your chest a little more, and relax down. Head comes up, chest goes up, chin and chest, and release. Then try a couple more times with either arm position, whatever felt like it gave you the most success in finding that back bend. And then press all the way back into a child's pose for a moment. Let everything relax. And that is it. I hope that helped you with your posture. I hope things feel a little less stuck in here. And I will see you next time.